43-window Coupe 1932 Elvis is a heavily modified hot rod-style vehicle. The vehicle was built with the idea of installing a V12 twin-six GMC 702 cubic inch petrol motor and a capacity of about 300 horsepower on an extended chassis of a 1932 three-window Ford Coupe. The body was a rod-butt chopped three-window coupe with exposed hinges and door handles. The massive engine on Elvis' car was originally a V12 petrol motor usually found in trucks and often mistaken for two V6s welded together. It is its own separate engine design, however, based on a single casting. It used for separate exhaust manifolds, two separate carburetors, two separate distributor caps driven by a single distributor drive. Thor 24 is a unique big rig, often referred to as the most powerful big rig ever built because of its horsepower rating reached through a 24-cylinder engine with 12 superchargers. The 44-foot-long big rig is powered by two 852 cubic inch V12 diesel engines and 12 superchargers and requires 4 drag parachutes to deploy out of the rear bumper to stop when it reaches its peak speed of 130 miles per hour. Total weight is around 32,000 pounds. The resulting 27.9-liter V24 stands 8 feet tall and generates as much as 3,974 horsepower through an Allison HT700 transmission. The gear shifter is shaped like a badass sword, and a Hawker jet helicopter engine acts. 4 cameras mounted on the front bumper, so the driver can actually see in front of them. A dragster is a specialized competition automobile used in drag racing. Among the fastest accelerating machines in the world, 11,000 horsepower top-fuel dragsters are often referred to as the kings of the sport, and with good reason. They are capable of covering the drag strip in less than 3.7 seconds at more than 330 miles per hour. Unlike a street or high-performance car that uses a manual or automatic transmission, a top-fuel dragster uses a centrifugal clutch and only operates in forward, high, and reverse. The dragster is a special body style of race car which competes in the top-fuel and top-alcohol chassis of amateur and professional drag racing. The dragster is characterized by a long nose with an open wheel format, a large power plant, and runs on a mix of methanol and nitromethane. This truck you see here is Sven-Erik Lade's creation, called the Scania Chimera. Every piece on this truck was built around the amazing power plant. The engine is a 16.4-liter V8 out of a Scania 730, and attached to it is a custom stainless steel exhaust system with 6 Holset turbochargers. The engine produces 1,460 horsepower, but they plan on increasing that to 2,190 horsepower. The transmission is a modified Allison 6-speed. Combined with modified 6-speed Allison gearbox, the Chimera, which weighs just 4,780 kilograms, should go from 0 to 100 km in 4.6 seconds. The Chimera is kept on track by a completely redesigned steel tubular space frame and independent wheel suspensions with double spring struts at the front. This is the incredible Hemi Healy from Bob Ida at Ida Automotive and has been successfully restored by the specialist of an American car restoration and recycling company. To boost the engine, a Detroit diesel supercharger has been bolted on top. The blower is straight off a Detroit diesel. Bob disassembled it, cleaned it, and had the case heart anodized. He refaced the end plates, installed new seals and bearings, and reassembled the vintage power adder. He also timed the rotors to perfection. A hydrostick transmission was bolted behind the Hemi. Mike Niemans is the proud owner of a motorcycle shop in Northern California. Mike has two passions: bikes and radial engines. This is why he owns 6 radials dating back to the 1920s, one of which he got a bit creative with. Owning a Volkswagen Type 1, he mounted one of his radial monsters right where the rear bumper should be. The engine he used is a Continental W670-9a, which puts out about 220 horsepower. He pulled it out of a 1941 M2 tank. He put a couple hundred pounds of cement inside the compartment in the front to weigh it down and avoid pitching. Also, since this is a 111-liter radial, he converted it to propane to save money on gas. This is Trackback's custom motorcycle, powered by a Lamborghini V12. It also has a VW Type 3-axle rear-mounted radiators. The bike uses surprisingly normal front and rear wheels and tires. Sitting in a custom-built motorcycle frame, the V12 is mounted in front of the rider rather than beneath them, while a custom steering linkage was necessary to reach that faraway front wheel. Beck used a 3-speed Volkswagen transmission. To put the power to use, worked up a custom linkage to be able to steer and note that radiator placement. On either sides of the motorcycle, what look like cool side panniers are actually the rear-mounted radiators to keep the mighty engine at a usable temperature. Meet Brutus. It is pretty remarkable, rather old and seriously fast. Brutus consists of an American Lufthansa fire engine chassis with a massive V12 BMW aircraft engine. A chassis with 1,907 chain drive forms the basis of the Brutus experimental vehicle, a drive that was used for a long time by fire departments in America. A 12-cylinder BMW aircraft engine was mounted onto this chassis. Brutus is an aero-engined car. It is powered by a water-cooled 46 liters BMW V12 aircraft engine, which produces between 490 to 550 horsepower at 1,530 revolutions per minute. The Volvo PV is a series of 2-door 4-passenger car models. This model had a curved one-piece windshield to replace the 2 panes of flat glass, larger tail lights, and a ribbon-type speedometer. After restoration, now it has a 38.8-liter V5 diesel V12 engine that powered a Swedish bridge launching military vehicle. The engine makes 520 horsepower and a staggering 1,696 pound-foot of torque. The engine originally in the Volvo PV544 was a 1.6-liter inline-4 that made 66 horsepower and 86 pound-foot of torque. To make all of that torque usable in a car, Johnson created a custom planetary gear set that goes behind the engine, reducing the torque 516 pound-foot and raising the RPM to 6,000, which is pretty high for a diesel. The Blastolene Special, also known as the tank car, is a unique specially built car designed and built by American master craftsman Randy Grubb. The car is currently owned by American entertainer Jay Leno. Created from an American military tank engine and a custom-made aluminum body, it originally produced 600 kilowatts at 2,800 revolutions per minute and 1,560 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 revolutions per minute. The car weighs 9,500 pounds. After purchasing the car, Jay Leno made numerous enhancements to the roadworthiness of the vehicle, including a new 6-speed Allison automatic gearbox, new rear brakes, new electrical system and chassis work. The engine was later upgraded with fuel injection and twin turbochargers.